Good afternoon. It's drive time with Dave. I'm Dave. I'll be your driver today. It's Friday. Something. I don't know what day it is. And now I still don't know. It's Friday, February 3rd. I have lost track of the days, the time. I apologize. It's very disrespectful of me to not treat everyone's time better. Today's lesson in time management. A little bit of motivation. One of the problems that I had today was I have an employee, a processor, that is falling way behind. So I go and I say, "Hi there. I've looked at your incoming worksheet and you are days and days behind." Well, some of the items, I was a little slower on, and well, I had a lot of items come in, and it is a long list of, I'm talking to him, and it's like, "Hey, you're not doing your job," and he's like, "Blah blah 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 blah," and I'm like, "Yeah, you're not doing your job," and he's trying to explain to me why, and finally I have to say, after about 5 minutes of listening, all the reasons why he can't do his job, that I'm sorry that he's having a difficulty with his job, but if he would like to continue working here, he's going to need to get to doing his job. And I try really hard not to do that. That was my one and only problem today. I had a few other problems, but that was the one that gives me something to talk about. The other problem I have is when you get what you want, you get everything that goes with it. So my wife calls me, "Hey, I got a guy that wants to make a deal, buy 2,000 video games. This is a big deal, so I want you to come down here and help me." So I go. I touched on this a little bit yesterday. So I go and make the deal with the guy. And then we bring home 2,000 video games, and huge. They're huge boxes. It's crazy. It's a crazy amount of material. I know it's video games. What a thorn in the side of life video games are. These people and their video games. This is all these guys talk about buying and selling their video games. They're lightweight. They're super cheap, and they're plentiful. And there's 50 million kids out there that want to play them. So when you get what you want, you get everything that goes with it. So that's the thing that people don't realize when they pick up and they start reselling. You think, gosh, if I just had a way to get more. But like I say, well, what happens when you get more? You get more work, right? And unfortunately, when people are asking for more, they're not looking at it like, well, if I got more material, it's going to be more work, it's going to be more shipping. As one of my subscribers said, "My math is skewed. I don't think you can do math, Dave." And I go, "Whoa." I say quite frequently, I cannot do math. And he goes, "Well, you were talking about, you hire a couple of people listing for you, and then you get to the third lister, you're going to need to buy, 3 times the amount." Well, kinda, and well, kind of not. The third employee that I was referring to may or may not have been a lister. Because when you get 2 people listing, and let's say they're sharp, they're razor sharp, and 8 hours, they're getting 80 listings a day. That's 160 listings a week between 2 super sharp employees. And at the end of that month, well, my math is terrible, and that's thousands of listings. And with a sell-through rate, you're going to be selling whatever that 1.5% to 3%. So you're going to be selling anywhere from 60 to 100 items a day. At that point, that third person is probably going to be a shipper. And it's going to take somebody a good 2 or 3 hours every morning to process that many packages. And then that person that's doing shipping should also double as a customer service person. So whoever this third person is going to be, they're going to wear many hats. They're going to be inventory clerk, they're going to be shipping clerk, and they may be customer service rep. And your goal is to, yes, you need to be able to buy at least 2 times whatever they're getting listed. So there's always a surplus. So if one week you were sick or you couldn't find enough material, the previous week you're still way ahead, or all the weeks before you're still way ahead. The math is always the math. 2 times whatever's being listed. So if you've got somebody listing 80 pieces a day, you should shoot to buy 160 pieces a day. If you've got people listing 160 pieces a day, you should be shooting to buy 320 pieces a day. That's what you need to shoot for. And in the event you've got a day where, gosh, I'm just going to spend the day with my kids, or I'm going to go spend the day with my husband or my wife, or I'm just not feeling it today. There should be no point where you're not feeling it. But, time goes on and things change, and ultimately as money starts coming in and sales grow, your motivation changes. You have to work hard to lead by example. I'm there every morning, no matter what time it is. I'm always there, and I'm there most of the day, and I'm involved in all the problems, and I'm involved in all the solutions. I'm involved in a lot of the purchasing and a lot of the sales. So let's just say I'm well-rounded when I'm at work, and you will be too. You'll look at all your sales orders and go, whew, 100 orders. And then you'll look at them a little closely and you'll see, oh, today I probably sold, and you'll just guess, oh, I sold a bunch of jeans, I sold a bunch of shirts, I sold a bunch of this and that. And all those things just spin around your head. And you go, okay, well, yeah. And then you'll start getting creative, and you start going, well, in the last 2 weeks I've sold, 60% of my sales have been some kind of pants or shorts, and 40% of my sales have been this type of shirt. And out of that 40%, some of them have been, 20% are long sleeve and 20% are short sleeve. And so to give you a dynamic, that's your KPI. It's part of your metrics that you will need to start keeping track of. And then how much of that is going to be seasonal? So is that going to change at what point? And depending upon where you're at, it'll give you an idea of when to back off on this particular amount of clothes, because otherwise you're just spending money to put stuff in inventory, which I'm not saying isn't okay. I'm just saying there's a point where you probably want to divert money into stuff that's going to be moving based on whatever is actually going on in the world. And that's something you'll learn to get better at. Managing inventory. Manage your inventory costs. Managing the person that's doing customer service, and managing your listers, and it's all part of a growing process for you and your business. It kind of goes hand in hand. As your business grows, you emotionally grow, and you develop, and you learn. And when you're not learning, you strive to learn. You reach out. You want more information. I get stuck. I gotta call some people. I've said it before. I'll call and just see how some of my friends are doing, and when they tell me their problems, it makes my problems seem like nothing, because these guys have problems that I don't even understand. I can't begin to understand. I've got problems that blow me. I'm like, oh my God, this is a crazy problem. For me, it's a crazy problem, but I tell them and they're like, oh, it's easy, just do this. I'm like, oh, silly me. See? What do I know? I'm just the driver. So as you move through the course of your day, you wanna pay really close attention to your own habits, and you don't want your habits to come across wrong. Some of my subscribers are like, Dave, you talk down to people. I'm like, I'm actually talking straight down to the road, and I'm not actually trying to talk down to anybody, and I apologize because I'm not actually trying to do any of those things. But that brings me to my second point, that sometimes the way I come across, or the way you may come across, it may be you. It may be part of who you are. So it's part of who I am, that when I start talking about this is the way that we should handle inventory, I'm not actually asking for anyone's input. I'm stating, well, this is just my opinion and the way I handle it, right? And then people are like, well, Dave, you're just coming across all wrong. Well, I'm just coming across based on whatever it is that I know about my segment of business. And as I just said, when I run into a problem that I'm not really clear on, which does happen, it does. It happens a lot more than I care to admit. I call some guys that have dealt with these problems years before me and have them times 100. And they give me simple solutions, and I go and I work out a procedure and I implement it. We write a policy on it and we hand out a memo. I'm a glorified letter writer and paper pusher. That's what I am. Because you earn that title when it's your signature that goes out on the paychecks. And again, right or wrong, all the decisions are yours. So if the decisions that you make hurt your business, hurt your sales, they hurt your customers, they hurt your employees, remember, you have no one to blame but yourself. I accept all the blame, and from my video this morning, it's difficult when I have a good employee that's having a hard time, and I have to make judgment. And then I ask myself, who am I to judge when I don't fully understand what he's going through? But 25 years ago, I did understand what he was going through, because it was me and I was contemplating it, but I never took anything from anybody, so I would suffer. I operate my business now in such a manner that I make sure everyone gets a paycheck if I don't. All the bills are paid if I suffer. Everyone is taken care of, because without everyone, I am nothing. When it is you alone, you only have you to account to for all the bad choices and all the good choices. You can pat yourself on the back about all the good, and then you can, beat yourself up when it's bad. And so my camera's getting a little ugly. Oh, one of the questions was, what kind of camera is it that I'm using? I can't tell what's going on here. I think the color just changed. I don't know. It's a Sony RX100 is the camera that I use in the car, and I actually am going to be changing that coming this week. I got a Canon M3 in today. Was very generous of one of my customers to send that to me. I talk about cameras a lot. I have a lot of camera equipment, and I love gadgets and techie stuff, and so I have a lot of customers that when I'm talking to them, they surprise me and send me all kind of presents and gifts. And I know what they're really trying to do. They're really trying to buy me off. They're hoping that the next time we do a deal, that they can get more money for whatever their products are by buying me off. And it doesn't work, because I like money a lot. See, the second I start talking about making money, it's Happy Friday. It is. It's Friday, and the week is over. And you know what that means to me? That means no one works in my office on Saturdays and Sundays. We work Monday through Friday. So that means there's no money being made. That's very upsetting. I can't even describe to you how much it hurts me that there's not going to be any money being made. Years ago, it's what got me into the nightclub business. I ended up owning 2 nightclubs because I realized at one time I could make money at night. Imagine that, with a bar. And so I could juggle multiple businesses because the operational hours were different. And I did okay. It's a very complicated business. And people want to sue you for looking at you. They come into your place, they get drunk, they go out, they get into an accident. I got sued because I was the one serving the drinks. It doesn't matter if you cut them off. It doesn't matter. You still get sued. Even if there's no liability found against me, because that's typically what happens. They go out and they get one of those pro bono attorneys and they just sue everybody. They're throwing stuff at the wall to see what'll stick, and they sue everybody. And I ended up in a lawsuit where a husband was in one of my clubs with a girlfriend, and they come outside and the wife was waiting in the parking lot and she hit him with her car. She didn't kill him. She just hit him in the parking lot, and he was hurt. As you know, somebody would be hurt that just got hit by an automobile, even at low speed. You're hurt. So because that happened in the parking lot, and this was before I even owned the nightclub. So this happened to the previous owner, and then I ended up taking over. They sued me because they thought that I had some inside knowledge that I had obtained from the previous owner about what really happened. And I'm like, what really happened is the guy was cheating on his wife, and his wife caught him and ran into him in the parking lot. And you can sue me if you want to, but it's not I didn't make him do it. You know, and they're going, come on, man, this is a really good idea. No. Anyway, that's a story for another time. So today is the end of our work week. So we have to be motivated to do something new tomorrow. Though, like all good resellers that we are, tomorrow starts our weekend adventure. How much stuff can we buy tomorrow? Are there any yard sales? Are there any flea markets? Are there any clearance items? It's a lot of very important information, and there's only one way to find out. You go and you spend all day driving around, and that's what I'll do. And it makes me feel like a bad dad, because I'm like, all right, kids, come on, let's hop in the car. We're going to Walmart, but you can't have anything because we got to resell all this stuff. My kids have so much stuff, I can't. You guys have seen the house. They have a bounce house in the living room. Okay, so I don't think they're being neglected, and they don't need every toy that I buy. They have plenty of toys. But in a way, I feel bad because the 5-year-old's crying because I ended up getting something. He wants it. It's the end of the world if he can't have this. And it makes me laugh, and I'll give him one, and then I go in his room and he's got 900 toys. I'm like, and once they're not new anymore, they don't quite have the same value. Toys don't have a good used resale value, I find. It's a little more difficult to sell them unless you're selling them at a yard sale. And that's bad. It's just a bad return on your investment. So guys, this was Drive Time. I'm Dave. I am the driver. Feel free to shoot over all those questions and comments. And if you're not a subscriber and you're watching my video for the first time, I think I forget sometimes to ask people to subscribe or like my video, and a lot of you guys are awesome at it. I don't really have to ask, and it makes me feel so good. I love getting all the comments and the stories and everything that you guys share with me, so I share back. Because your journey's just as amazing as mine. And for some of you, it's just beginning. And I wake up on days and I think, is my journey over? Our journey will never be over, my friend. There's always more to buy and resell. I'm Dave. I'm the driver. I'll see you soon.